Sorry. I hope you guys can hear me now. I'm sorry? I got it, thank you. Okay, bye. Sorry everyone. Oh boy, I got lost looking at things and focusing on what I'm going to, my topics, and I overlook certain things. I'll repeat. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. Today is Monday. I will not be doing my Monday evening session because I'm taking a little break. And thank you for, I don't know who called, but thank you for calling me. I appreciate it. You know, everything is on, but I forgot to look at that stuff because I was looking at my journal and make sure that there are a couple of things I want to remember to talk about. Having said that, I called some people's name that I don't want to keep people waiting. I'm not going to repeat everything. So, you know, I watched something over the weekend. I usually watch the news on YouTube and stuff like that because I don't spend as much time as I used to watching CNN and sometimes MSNBC because they get on my nerves. So I watched, you know, Marksler and others, Midas Touch. And, but yesterday I watched another channel and I'm shocked. This is gossiping. And there is a woman in Florida. It seems like she was married to somebody. She has 3 kids with him. I know I'm throwing some people off because this is way off base, but I had to tell you guys this story. It's a nice neighborhood. I mean, I think I know why she did it. And for some reason, you know, relationships have problems. And she decided to leave the guy and move and started living with the guy across the street. I was sitting here, I died laughing. It's unbelievable. She lived across the street. She used to live with a guy. She had 3 kids. I don't know if she was living with him or I think they were married. Okay. She left him. By the way, her mom and her sister is still living with that guy. And then she moved and started living with a guy across the street. There is no way I would ever do something like that. First of all, it's dangerous. This is Florida. It happened last year. You could get shot. But anyway, I thought I would tell you that I just couldn't believe it. What I can't believe is you checking with somebody, with someone across the street. I don't understand it. But anyway, I had to share that story with you guys. Go back to our topics. I don't know how many of you saw Trump this past Saturday giving his academic speech. Okay, a bunch of young people, they've worked very hard for the last 4 years. I believe that's how long it takes and the academy, military academy for them to go at West Point to graduate. And the guy went and started speaking about trophy wives. Intuitively, I feel, I mean, it's in the newspapers as well, and a lot of people are screaming about it. Intuitively, I was looking at the shots of the graduates. Okay, young people graduating, they are eager to join the workforce. Well, in this case, the military, and wherever they give them to do, wherever they send them, they are eager. Just like all of us after we graduated from high school or college, and you're ready to go, you're ambitious, you know, and somebody comes around and telling you about trophy wives. And I guess that goes with the topic I was talking about before, you know. Intuitively, I feel those young people, and that's the wrong thing. Trump doesn't, I mean, I'm sure if he were right upstairs, the feeling I'm getting from those young people intuitively is very negative. And it's not only from them. This thing is going to spread, if it hasn't started already, within the military. of people Trump thinks he can convince to do his bidding for him. Yes, he's still going to have some MAGA across and among the troops to do his biddings. But what he did yesterday, Saturday, not yesterday, is not going to work for him at all. In fact, intuitively, I feel it's going to have a very negative effect on how the troops feel about him. If before, they would, like one of my nephews was saying, because he was in the Marines, and he said, most people in the military, whether they like it or not, they swore an oath to the Constitution. They're going to grit their teeth and do whatever the chief says, unless it's an unlawful order. After this Saturday, given other things I've said about our military, guys, this is not looking very good for him and the people around him. That's going to drive Trump crazier when he finds out. I'm sure Exshed will report to him. And that's another guy that's not having a good time at the Pentagon. I'm sure you guys heard what he's doing to the news people. But I'm very happy what Trump did Saturday. Yes, it's sad. Our country is being led by an idiot. But also the guy, he has a problem, and I'm going to tell you why. You guys, I don't talk about this often, except for the past few weeks. I've been mentioning, I think he has onset dementia. Some of you told me you are better at this than I am. He's sunsetting. After this past Saturday, what I was getting is what I was reminded of. I was reminded of someone, a friend of mine. I've spoken about her before. Her name was Lovita. She was like a mom to me. She was 94 or 95 when she passed. But in later years, like the last 3 or 4 years, maybe a little longer, she had onset dementia. And before she passed, I remember, because at the time I was in the process of losing, well, not in the process, I had lost my house, and she called me. She says, come and live with me. There is no one here with me. She used to own a huge house in New Rochelle. And she knew me since I was, like I said, she was like a mom to me. She knew me when I first came to this country, young and no nothing. But anyway, before she passed, she became focused on two things. It was unbelievable to me. She was a very, very clean woman. Always cleaning that huge house. Oh my God. It's like every day she did a different part of it. And it was like full of antiques and always clean. Before she passed, she refused to flush the toilet because in her mind it was wasting water, okay, and her electricity. The poor lady who used to help her, I don't remember her name now, she was a very nice lady, her caregiver, okay, she used to come to me because I knew her for so long. I was like one of her kids. She says, Milo, I don't understand what's going on. She won't let me flush the toilet. I'm like, flush it anyway. Do whatever you have to do. Don't worry about it. The reason why I'm saying these two things, okay, is when I was watching Trump talking about trophy wives, and he keeps repeating his election issues, the way things are confirmed to me, anything is confirmed to me, I will be shown someone that either shared similar situation or suffered the same disease. And Saturday, as I was watching the TV and they were playing the clip of Trump talking about his, not his, but I'm sure he probably was talking about him too, his trophy wife, a friend of his trophy wife. What do those kids, those cadets, they don't care. And it reminded me of she was like an adoptive mother to me. That's who I was reminded of. And I was reminded of what she used to complain about water. Don't flush the toilet, don't do this. Pay attention to turn all the lights off. I was the only one when I told her something, she would listen. Not even her son. That's how that stuff, I could not understand it. We couldn't believe it, how clean she used to be. And all of a sudden, she's being cheap about water and electricity. So, and it's not, I'm just explaining to you how they obsess about certain things. And to say to you guys who have been saying this to me, and I'm like, Saturday I had the confirmation. Something is very wrong with this guy. And and it feels like to me, people are beginning to, people in the news media are not only admitting it, but they are talking about it now. And some people are calling for the 25th Amendment. And you guys remember, it's been a while now, I said Trump and Republicans are using one another. Well, I'm going to add something to it. It's a dangerous game that they are playing. Intuitively, I feel, behind the scenes, Trump is a lot worse than we are. It's bad. He's bad enough in public. And also, I don't know how many of you watch what happened, was it this morning or last night when he was going back to the White House? I guess he was in Florida or Bedminster, somewhere. Okay. The way he started yelling at a journalist who asked him something about Ukraine, and he just went off. So there is a bigger problem than we think. They are blaming, they are saying, they are accusing Biden, those who were close to Biden's staff, of covering up for Biden. My friends, the Trump Republicans are projecting. As we know, when they accuse you of something, that's what they are doing. And Trump is proving it to us. He was accusing, or Republicans as well, were accusing Democrats of weaponizing DOJ. They are doing it in plain sight. The same thing, accusing Biden's staff of covering up for him. That's what they are doing with Trump. And Lolita used to have lucid moments. Okay, I don't recall exactly. It was so hard for me to watch her declining that way, because I've known her for, she passed in 2005. At that time, I had known her for at least 40 years. So it's it's hard. You remember the person when they were young, or a lot younger, because she was in her 90s when she passed. The thing is, there is a lot going on, and the other thing he's obsessed with is money. And behind the scenes, it's even worse. He doesn't even care anymore. As you notice, that dinner, they told him, a few people around him says, you got to be a little careful. He does not care. It's not only because they feel so empowered, but intuitively, I don't feel the disease is helping. And the other thing that can happen is dangerous. If you watch the way he unleashed that anger, when people are suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's, but I think he's probably dementia because that's what his father had. Okay, the way he lashed out. I am concerned until they boot him out of office. Intuitively, I feel a lot of people in government right now, leaders, Republicans, a lot of them are becoming to the realization that Trump may not last 4 years and they may have to do something about what's going on. Because what if this guy wake up one morning just like he's doing with tariffs? He's obsessed with tariffs because that's one way he has control, he can cause all kinds of mischief. He gets up one morning and decides and says, I want to send the military to attack Mexico. Well, yeah. Intuitively, this will come out. Okay. A lot of people behind the scenes are beginning to wonder about those things because they are Trump's behavior is forcing them to admit pretty soon in public, because it's beginning to reach a point where it's undeniable. They're going to realize they have no choice. But the thing is, if he decides to give the order to attack another country, he's scaring a lot of people in government. And people around him are very concerned as well. That's the fear I'm getting, besides other things that he may do. Della Jean says Reagan had the same problem. You know, I remember, but I don't remember what Reagan used to be obsessed about. But it seems like Trump has more things. I mean, this is what I remember about Lovita. Okay, those two things. The other things he used to obsess about didn't affect or do anything, that bad. Oh boy. Straight Beyond the Star says, today we just lost another Democratic representative. He passed away at 89 years old. But he will not be replaced anytime soon because the Republican politicians will not allow any special election. Yeah, we're not surprised. But who was that? I don't know who passed at 89. I don't know who that was. I didn't even hear about it. This is my first hearing it. But a lot of people are beginning to be very concerned. Marsha Braga says, Milo, do you think he made a pact with the enemy? Yes. I mean, he did make a pact. Putin has certain expectations of Trump. The notion that, yes, Trump lashed out this morning, but he's not going to do anything. Intuitively, I don't feel he's going to be able to pull out of Ukraine because there's too much pressure right now. It's been a lot of pressure to keep him. Otherwise, believe me, Trump would have walked away from NATO and Ukraine. And the other thing is, intuitively, I feel when I focus on Putin, he got us exactly where he wants us. Divided, with an idiot at the helm. And what's his name? Vance is no better. Okay? So we are in a very bad spot, and Republicans are not doing anything. And believe me, like I said a long time ago, I did not know why I said it. This is going to backfire on Republicans, and there's going to be a price. They will lose their seat and be vilified. They will be blamed for what's going on. And basically, as we know, Trump is decimating everything. No, and look at what he did to Harvard Friday. Okay, now he's demanding that they give him a list of their foreign students. They have the list of the foreign students. How did they come here? From the southern border? They all have visas. It's just he's looking for things to go after Ukraine, to go after Harvard. But he's going to lose that fight. And the other thing that's working against Trump, besides people, he's getting on our nerve, people are tired. A lot of people, when they go to sleep, just like me, when they wake up, it's like, okay, what did Trump do today? What was he screaming about overnight? Last night he was screaming about something. Yeah, the foreign students again. Okay, it's part of the disease, and that's what's working on the mind of a lot of Republicans. They are not out yet talking about it, but they will. They can no longer hide from it. And the newspapers, as I'm sure you guys have heard, the New York Times, instead of telling the truth about what Trump did this past Saturday, okay, at the graduation, the military graduation, the way they put it, that is so that I guess they don't get on Trump's wrong side. Trump is telling the military we are in a new era. Yeah. What I was sitting here like, yeah, the era of dumb presidents lying to dumb people to vote for him. Yeah, this is crazy. So, but there is no choice at this point. Republicans are going to have to face reality, and Putin. That's the second topic here. Putin. There is no choice. Okay. Because Putin is going to continue to take advantage. He doesn't respect Trump, obviously. In fact, they are laughing at Trump. I read that, okay, and also they said something. This, according to reports, I read it on Blue Sky or Twitter. I don't remember which one. Because, like I said, I always watch those, go take a look at on those two sites just to see what's going on. They had said they were talking about Trump having an emotional reaction. And intuitively, I feel, you know what they mean? Trump is sick upstairs, dementia. They know. Putin knows Trump has dementia, but he's going to continue to manipulate Trump, and he's got this country where he wants, like I said a little earlier, all the bad signs, everything that's going on in this country. Trump is destroying us from within. Okay, he's going to continue to do what he's doing, but he will be stopped. I don't feel he's going to win. He's going to reach a point, it feels like to me, his economy is going to be so bad and he's losing so many men already. He's going to have to make a change. Ukraine will continue to fight him. And let me tell you, I'm not quite sure exactly how, but Ukraine will have a surprise for Putin. I'll just leave it that way. Let's see what happens. And one second, there is something I wanted. Oh, yes. That's what I wanted to mention, and I wrote it down in my journal. I don't know how many of you heard. There are hundreds of Catholic bishops that are going to go to, that are against Trump, and they're going to fight him. When I say fight, I mean they're going to talk about what he's doing. They're going to preach about, I don't know how many of you heard that empathy right now is a sin according to Christian nationalists. Okay. And this morning, when I read that, in fact, that was the last thing I was reading. That's why I forgot to turn my mics on. I know that was a stupid thing Elon said, but I did not know the Christian nationalists adopted the notion that empathy is a sin, and it's gone mainstream now. In fact, I was reading it from Axios, that website. Okay, there is an article on Axios talking about it. That's what I was reading, and I was so like, oh my God, and I forgot to turn on my mic, and my transmitter and receiver. Let me tell you, I feel Catholic preaching what Trump is doing wrong will win. I mean, I guess you don't have to be psychic to see that. But I don't feel the Christian nationalists are going to win. The people who are preaching that stuff, I don't feel, I mean, they have a small base of people that trust them, but in the large scale of things, people know better. People's experiences have told them or taught them better. So intuitively, they're going to lose. And once Trump is gone, all those groups are going to be defanged. Okay, truth are going to be truth again, and lies will be lies, and people will call others out when they go out and try to lie the way they are lying today, just like Mike Johnson was trying to convince, what's his name, on James Sciutto, that he wasn't aware that there was a dinner Thursday evening for crypto guys, the grift. And Jim Sciutto didn't say anything to him. I mean, Mike Johnson had to go and elaborate as to why he didn't know about the dinner, but he had to, elaborate. So that it's because he was lying, he knew, and he's accepting. He thinks since Trump is doing it openly, he's not hiding it, it's not a problem. It's not against the law if Trump does it openly. We'll find out about that. But my friends, Putin is going to continue to take advantage of Trump and the position he's putting the country in. But I feel Europeans and lawmakers who are fighting hard to keep Trump on track, providing Ukraine with the weapons, however we go about doing it, to keep Ukraine afloat. I don't feel Putin is going to have his dream wish to take over Ukraine. Absolutely not. If anything, he may even dismantle his own country unwittingly. I know it's radical what I'm saying. I'm not saying Russia is going to disappear, but what I mean is he's going to put himself and the country in such bad shape. They're not going to be able to continue the fighting, or at least it's going to be at a low level. That's my prediction. But Putin is not going to win. Absolutely not. Okay, let me see if there are some questions. Gloria Jones says, I know the signs of dementia. I work in a nursing home, oh my God, for 32 years. So am I right, Gloria? Please let me know. Let me see if there is someone else. Let me see if Gloria said anything before that. I'm just curious. Because my sisters who are in the healthcare industry, they don't even want to talk about, they don't even watch TV because of Trump. Gloria says, I'm tired of the excuses. Remove felon 45 from office. Oh, I agree with you. Thank you, Gloria. Yeah, I wanted to hear it so somebody with experience. All right. There is no Memorial Day. The courts, federal buildings are closed. But as far as Diddy is concerned, there were a couple of major things that were stated last week in court. I feel intuitively a lot of the jurors are hanging on to those things. All the major evidence that were presented, how he abused Cassie, what he did to Kid Cudi. There is someone who was Diddy's assistant and testified on, he witnessed Diddy beating Cassie, among other things that Diddy has done to other people. They are holding on, just like I said last week, to all those things, and they are looking for more evidence or more people to testify that they've seen more evidence of those things. And it's not good for Diddy, because I don't feel the defense has been able to make a dent on how the jury is seeing or absorbing what is being said in court. I understand that the judge has to give him instructions at the end, what the charges are and what the parameters are, what the prosecutors need to prove in order for them to convict Diddy. Okay? But I feel starting this week, going forward, a lot of people are saying that they don't think the government is proving their case, the racketeering case. I've said it before, but I don't know if I said it on this stream or my other channel, my reading channel. But let me tell you, those people are not stupid. The prosecutors, they know exactly what they're doing. And I feel this week and next week, I don't know how fast, but they are going to be presenting new evidence to prove Diddy used his company and his reports to people who work for him to do his criminal biddings for him. And I don't watch those whole things. I can't take it. I've started watching. There's a gentleman, I believe he was, I don't know what kind of assistant he was for Diddy. And his job was to clean the rooms after they spent days, doing whatever they do in those things. And it wasn't pleasant. I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched the first 5 minutes just to hear it from the source, as opposed to only reporters reporting reporters are doing an amazing job. There is this lady, I forget her name. I believe I wrote it down because I think she's on, it's not Monica Kosa, it's another one. I believe she is on Channel 2. And CBS, I'm saying Channel 2. She works for CBS because I saw her again yesterday, but in-house as opposed to outside. I don't remember her name right now. I'm looking at my, no, that's not her. Okay. I usually highlight people's name in red so I could see them, but I don't think I did that with that lady. But there are some very good journalists. Maybe it's because I don't know anything about the law, the way they go about explaining what's going on in court. But these people are different. To me, intuitively, I want to see not only what the journalists what is being said in court, but I want to hear it from somebody who worked for him. So, and also it helps me get a better idea intuitively as to how bad it was behind the scenes without hearing it from somebody, because hearing it I can't take it. But intuitively it's more palatable to me for some reason. Those of you who are intuitive, you feel that way, so you understand what I mean. But yes, I don't see going forward the defense being able to make a dent. Whatever they present is not going to help. Yes, they're going to, it's a fight. Okay, somebody's going to land a blow. There's nothing you can do about that. But I'm looking intuitively at what they have. I don't see how they're going to get out of it. How Diddy's going to get out of it. At least not right now, unless they change it. What they do, their approach, that's the only way. They'll make a dent, but besides that, I don't see how Diddy's going to win this case at all. And some people are saying he's going to get off. I doubt it. I don't see it at all. I'll let you guys know. That's why I'm looking at the jury as opposed to, and it won't take the jury long to convict him. Okay, that's my prediction. Barbara Ann Robertson's says, question, do you see Putin is a clone? No, that's Putin. I know a lot of people are saying it's not Putin, it is Putin. Well, intuitively I feel it's Putin. Okay, I hear a lot of people saying that, but no, it's Putin, my friend. You know something? Do you know how many people within the Putin circle would love to see that guy gone? Quite a few of them. Okay, so if Putin was gone, they don't need him to do anything. All those guys, they have huge egos too, and they are smart. Okay, they don't need someone to, because it's not like here. Okay, you know, that's a very good thing you said. Because of MAGA, okay, Republicans need Trump in the White House because of support. And he can help them stay in office or win seats. That's not the case in Russia. You know, if Trump was gone, they would have to look for a clone in order for them to be able to keep the MAGA base. Once Trump is gone, I believe those who are saying that no one can inherit MAGA, not even Vince, forget it. Vince doesn't stand a chance. Okay, so it's done. What the Trump sons, they're not gonna be able to do that either. I know they are trying to position themselves and saying, well, maybe in the future they will run for president. Their name is going to be so bad, the Trump name, by the time this is over. And I was watching a video yesterday. Scaramucci was saying he doesn't think Trump is going to go to prison over this, because although we should, but because of the American culture, the way we treat our former presidents, that's not going to happen. I got news for him. By the time Trump is gone from office, the only way he will not go to prison, if he's sick, well, that's why I have been reluctant to admit he has dementia, unless I was, you know, Spirit had proved, or God had proven it to me beyond any reasonable doubt by showing me Lovita, who had dementia. Okay, and something he did a couple of weeks ago that it occurred to me. I would never go for it, because I know that's one thing him and his family will use to keep him out of prison. I'm not sure that's going to work either. Okay, but no, Putin, that's the real Putin. But anyway, I was giving you an example of why they would want to keep Putin. Now, I hope I made that clear. There is a reason to have a clone of Trump, because Republicans want to stay in power, and they feel MAGA can help them keep them there, can help keep them there. Putin, no, the Russian people are not with Putin. They are saying they're with Putin, but that's not true. Okay. Krista McCracken said the bishops are against Trump and now Anonymous. Anonymous has been against Trump for a while. The bishops, I mean, I'm sure a lot of them have been against Trump, but last week. It was the first time I heard they are collaborating together and talk to their flocks about some of the stuff that Trump is doing, and I think it's a marvelous idea. Okay. I'm looking to see if there are any questions. Let me see. Somebody. I'm looking for a question I think someone asked me. I don't see it. Okay, let me answer you guys' questions. Greg Dixon says, home finally. Oh, were you away? Levada Shwenji says, okay. I think this is it, friends. Oh, that's a good question. Raymond Di Pasquale says, and a couple of people have asked me about that question. Do you feel intuitively that Diddy will be pardoned? Absolutely not. It's not that Trump wouldn't pardon him if he paid him some money because he's so obsessed with money. But I'm not seeing it. My friends, you know, Trump and Diddy and the guy who committed suicide, you know, the friend that, I forgot his name, okay, you know, there are so many of those Diddy, or people like Diddy, or the people he learned it from. Some of you mentioned that one of them, he was a major promoter or record executive, I forget his name too. I was thinking about that either sometimes last week or over the weekend. Diddy is only a little guy, you know. There are some major executive in the recording industry, movie industry, and stuff like that. Those people are doing some pretty bad stuff. You know, it's sickening. And I didn't want to accept it because, and when you know, the reason why I started opening my mind and admit that this abuse, Diddy is nothing compared to what we don't know about that's going on behind the scenes. And the drug abuse, how did, oh my God, I forget her name now. How can that be? She was married to that guy who was on Boyz II Men. I just saw his picture this morning, I don't remember his name. But one of my favorite singers, she played in that movie. But anyway, I'm sure by now you guys know who I'm talking about. I can't remember her name right now because I'm focusing on the pictures and things that I have to talk about. How did she become addicted to drug? And that guy who was, you know, with Whitney Houston, that's who I'm talking about. I had to shift my gear from intuitive to thinking about, okay, who I am talking about. Whitney Houston, her ex-husband, I think it's her ex-husband. Yeah, by the time, unfortunately, she was addicted, he was addicted. I'm on a whole bunch of other things. And I started looking what happened to these people. Were they abused as well? And Diddy feels like to me, I mean, he wasn't a good guy, because if he were a good guy, I mean, I don't think everyone in the movie industry or music industry had to go through that. But a lot of them refused. They didn't want to lower themselves or be conned, like Diddy conned or manipulated Cassie. Okay, but somebody said Diddy is only a little guy among all those guys who, I mean, he was not a good person to begin with. His foundation was not strong enough. His parents didn't tell him what was right, what was wrong, and there are things you're not supposed to do. So he went free for all. And now he's learning at 55, I think he is. There are consequences when you don't, you don't know what the line is. But Diddy is not the only one. It feels like to me Diddy is nothing compared to what's going on. This is really bad. I'm sure some of you know better than I do, so you can tell me. Whitney Morehouse says Hollywood had been shady since the 1990s. But you're right, Whitney Morehouse, in the 1930s, remember what happened to Judy Garland. I vaguely remember that. But you know something? I don't understand. Bobby Brown, thank you, Trini Pastiwan. Yes, I saw Bobby Brown this morning. I'm like, I must be really getting old, because I remember Bobby Brown in the 80s. I was working for a company, the way he used, I never liked him. I could not believe Whitney married him. I could never see him and Whitney together, but I was in love with Whitney, so. But anyway, how is it that there are other people with money? They could start, and they can be disruptors to those industries, okay? Create a situation where young people don't have to go and get abused in order for them to become successful in the music or movie industry. I don't understand it. I was thinking about that over the weekend, but I don't have the money, Kenneth Kudengzi says, Milo, when will we get out of this mess, my friend? Even if Trump is gone, it's going to take, first we have to get the country back together. We won't have Trump around to keep destroying, continue to destroy our country. But remember, we're going to have to rebuild. I think intuitively, I have to be, because I can confuse time, I'm going to say within the next 2 years. But I would be surprised if they don't do something about Trump by next February. I don't feel we can handle this. Okay, Kenneth. Trini Passy 61 says, Milo, my cousin is a member of the Air Force Thunderbirds. Wow, spent the weekend with her. Congratulations, so proud of her. Pray for her safety at all times. Oh, absolutely. Congratulations. Thank you for her service, and for you for supporting her. That's great. Air Force is, yeah. Too True says, Bobby Brown can really sing. Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember when, I don't remember the songs. I was never a fan of his because I didn't think, I felt that Whitney Houston could have, but I'm wrong. I don't know the woman, okay? Let me say this. Who am I to be telling who she should marry, who she shouldn't be married to? But you don't know those people. I was looking at a picture of, there is a guy, I don't know if he's a rapper or he's in the music industry, okay? I believe his name is Birdman. He has a bunch of tattoos all over his face. And the woman he was married to, oh my God, I forget her name, but she is, to me, and I was thinking about that yesterday afternoon, she's a beautiful woman. What is she doing with Birdman? But I'm like, beauty is what I see, but I don't know the person. You don't know anything about the person's history, okay? I see her as beautiful, but she may not see herself as beautiful, or how does she see herself? Why does she have to go and have anything to do with this guy? And she was in a relationship with him for 15 years. I did not know about that. Tony Braxton, I knew you guys would figure it out. Adewika Cummings, yes, exactly. I was shocked yesterday when I heard Tony Braxton was in a relationship with the Birdsman. I'm like, oh my God. And I saw a picture of her with him in the early 2000s. Oh my God. I mean, she's still beautiful, but I was shocked. Barbara Ann Robertson, I never knew that until yesterday. Question, remember I mentioned my mom in Louisiana? I want to know if she will finally. Oh, my friend, you got to ask me during the daily stream, midday. I don't take personal questions. I'm sorry, only evenings, Monday evenings and Saturday evenings, but I won't be doing this evening. I'll be on again this coming Saturday. So ask me this coming Saturday. Okay, Barbara and Robertson, sorry. Okay. Craig Dixon says, really, Milu, I knew that in high school about beautiful women with quips. Yeah, and I just figured that out yesterday. It never occurred to me, and I made the same mistake with Whitney Houston, among other women. I'm like, what are they doing with this guy? But you don't know how they see themselves. And also, a lot of us, we date people who remind us of our parents, you know? You have no idea. And some of them are being manipulated just like Diddy did to, or one thing I have to debunk. I mean, the journalist is correct. She said that Diddy's defense attorneys are trying to project that Diddy is a meek old man because they were saying how old he looked all of a sudden. because he's been in prison for at least 6 months. And I don't think the jurors, I meant to say that earlier, I don't think the jurors are going to buy that stuff for 1 minute. Because when they arrested Diddy, he was still, he had his hair, dark and full of whatever it is to take care of himself. And he took very good care of himself. His clothes, well fitted, everything. So I think in that sense, I'm sure they are correct about how they want the jury to see Diddy. I don't think it's going to work. That's my prediction. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much for spending time with me. Thank you for coming. And thank you, chat managers, for your help. I appreciate it. If anyone would like a reading from me, the link to my website is below the video, psychicmilo.com, or please feel free to call me or text me on my YouTube number. If you like the channel, you have not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. That would help me a lot. And please give me a thumbs up, friends, because I understand the algorithm, okay? It seems like it puts more weight on the thumbs up or the heart, whatever. If those things, if I get them, YouTube will tend to show my videos to more people. They will tend to keep it on people's feed longer, because I noticed like after 1 or 2 days, they drop. So, they don't show them on as many feeds. A lot of us are competing to be on people's feeds. So, I know it's a challenge. But if you give me thumbs up and you drop a heart, like some of those guys said, that will work. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, bye.